Alright. It's about that time to get started. Hello. Welcome to today. Uh, Jay is running a minute late. Uh, let's see if he is here. Hey, hello.
Hello.
Hi, welcome to the stream. Hi.
Thank you.
Yes. How's it going? How's it going?
Oh, not bad.
Alright. We're on slide 130 for your information. But yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You joined us right at the start. So hello everyone. Here's part five, the final part of this DC content review thing that I'm doing. Again, if you're new, about a month ago I released a video on how to introduce someone to the DC universe, and today I'm just talking about how I felt about some of those stuff that I wasn't personal about. So yeah. So today we're be covering everything else that we didn't talk about before in the past few streams. Um, Either because I haven't seen them or they just didn't fit perfectly. We're gonna like speed run through a few of these because again, haven't seen all of them, so no point in talking about stuff we haven't seen, right?
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Jay, you haven't seen a lot of stuff, so you were mainly here to listen to me talk. So
Yep.
yeah. First, we're starting off with the video games section, which you have a little experience with.
Yeah, a tiny bit. I've played a little bit of Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. Didn't really get particularly far just because I didn't find the combat super engaging.
Okay. Yeah. Are you typically a video game person? You play a lot of games?
Oh yeah, I play a lot of games. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, the combat just felt like pressing buttons. And I mean, combat isn't a thing that I go to video games for. I prefer like exploration or collection of stuff. So
Sure.
unless the combat system is like really engaging, then I kind of get bored of it. So yeah, I wasn't super into those, though I really like the world. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, I wish I had gotten to the point of like Arkham City when it like opens up a bit more. Um, because I like running around in digital worlds and seeing what I could find.
That's a weird thing to say, since that's pretty much immediate, but okay. um,
Well, yeah, I mean, I was finding that I was like running around and then it's just like, oh, I could run and fight some people. And that's about it.
uh, sure. Yeah,
I only played like an hour of that or so,
I
so
see.
I don't have a full perspective on Arkham City.
Okay. Well, I typically am not a gamer person. Most of my gaming experience is watching video game walkthroughs of stuff, but I have actually played uh, through these games. I've played through the story, just the main campaign of Arkham Asylum and City. Haven't finished like any side quests or like any deeper stuff than that, but yeah, I enjoy the world of Arkham. I think the combat's pretty cool and compelling, but that's just me. Um, then there's like Arkham Origins, which was made by different studios, which has a lot of good cutscenes, but story stuff kind of the way it connects to like the main series is a little questionable at times. And then there's Arkham Knight, which I've not completed Arkham Knight because I'm not the best gamer, and this game introduces the Batmobile, which is pretty cool. But like they have like Batmobile specific like boss battles, and I don't like those. So I'm like two
Any
thirds into the game, and so I just can't get past like this one battle. I don't really care to spend hours on one battle, so I just haven't finished it.
Yeah, any game that has like vehicle-based boss battles is always going to be a bit tough.
Yeah. With this, you either love the Batmobile or you don't like it, so I'm one of the people who don't like it. Because it's just. I hate
Yeah.
vehicles. I never liked vehicles. I was never good at it. So. Like, the Batman combat's pretty good. That's great. But when you're stuck in not Batman combat, it's like, oh, come on. Why do I have to stealth the Batmobile against these tanks that can one hit you? Ugh. It's
Yeah.
interesting in concept, not the best in execution. Like, I'm playing on easy mode for this game as well. The other two I played in normal difficulty, but like this one, even on easy mode, I can't get past the Batmobile sections. I cannot even do like a Batmobile chase down. Like I'm terrible at controlling the vehicle. So
Yeah, I don't tend to do well in with vehicle controls in games that aren't like specifically vehicle based.
sure.
Like I could do Mario Kart, but trying to control vehicles in a game that isn't built specifically for that can be a bit more difficult.
I mean, Mario Kart, you have like usually have the Wii remote or something to that moves along with
Oh,
you.
I play with controller,
Okay,
so with the more recent Mario Karts, yeah.
sure. Give me a wheel and I can drive fine. Give me a controller, and then we're all over the place.
Yeah, it's an acquired skill.
Then we have like the Injustice games, which is like the Mortal Kombat copycat, but for DC. Um,
Isn't it the same studio as Mortal Kombat?
it is. It is. That's what I mean. It's that same
Okay.
gaming style of just battling out with movesets. Um, I don't really play this type of game, but I thought the story was unique for the game itself. And then everybody started copying the game story of Evil Superman, and it's like, okay, well,
Yeah, I'm always a little bit skeptical of evil Superman, so I never got into the story here, but um yeah, I'm also fighting games don't tend to be my favorite. Um I do some Smash Bros, but I'm not very
it's.
good at it.
I mean, it's better when you're playing against
And
someone
yeah.
and you're on a similar level, you know. But
Yeah. I've just never found the like I don't know, combo based fighting games to be the most enjoyable for me. I have played a little bit of like some of the Mortal Kombats, and I think I have played a little bit of Injustice, just out of curiosity, but I've never gotten into it.
I've only mainly played these type of games like back when they were like arcade specific type games. So you get like the joystick and then like a couple buttons to push, and that was it. And it's simple to play
Yeah.
like that. Um, I've played some version of Marvel vs. Capcom at some arcade, and maybe one of the early Mortal Kombat's, but that's about it. These games are just not my thing. Then we have Batman the Telltale game, which is this unfinished thing that had 2 seasons worth of stuff. Do you play Telltale games or?
No, narrative games, not. It's interesting that yeah, none of these DC games have really ever appealed to my playing sensibilities. Yeah, I don't tend to go for super strongly narrative focused games, so it really depends. But yeah, I haven't played any of the Telltale games.
Yeah, I do think like the Batman games were interesting. They took some interesting directions. There are some elements that I thought were very similar to the Batman movie, which
Okay.
who knows if they borrowed from it. Well, I don't know.
I mean, are they drawing from a comic book in common, maybe?
Maybe, like slightly, but there are like some more
Okay.
specific elements where it's like, huh. It's very similar. I'm not gonna tell you
Okay.
what. It's like whatever. Then like we had Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I haven't really played them. I don't really know the full story. They have their own controversies, but like I'm not too deep into gaming at that point to really get into it. So, anything from you?
Yeah, I haven't played either of these. I was curious just because I don't see it on the slides up here. If you have a slide for DC Universe Online.
Oh no, I don't. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that at all when I made this. I'm not even sure really
Yeah.
what it's like. So,
Okay, I have actually played a little bit of it. That one I mainly just ran around it, but that one was kind of fun just to, you have different superpowers that you could use, and you can, if you have like the speedster powers, you can run up and down buildings or you can fly. Yeah, I just remember having some fun with that.
all I really
Um,
know about that
but yeah, I
is the
never played it
cinematic trailers that they made.
much.
So,
Yeah, directed by the guy who directed the first Deadpool, whose name I am
um,
forgetting.
Tim or Tom?
Tim Miller. Tim Miller.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. The Blur Studio video game guy who did also Love, Death, and Robots and Secret Level. You know, the people who
Okay.
make
Yeah.
cinematic video game cutscenes and trailers. Those people, yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Now we move on to older, more obscure stuff. Here, starting off, we have Adventures of Captain Marvel, which I just finished watching. It's a thing. How about you?
Never even heard of this one.
Okay. Well, there's a compilation on YouTube called the Sadistic Adventures of Captain Marvel, because whenever the hero shows up, the way he deals with some of the villains is like pretty sadistic. So maybe just check out that compilation. The story is, you know,
Okay.
as these old like movie serials go, the story is like very repetitive because it's told in like different chapters and they're like all the same essentially until the end. So, characters are going around in circles. It's the same things for like even this. I think this is the next up with Fleischer's Superman cartoon, which is a very well animated cartoon. I don't know if you've seen anything from it.
Yeah, I've seen clips and remember being very impressed with the animation.
Yeah. Then we have the first appearance of Batman in his first serials, which I watched last year. They're very long, very repetitive. It can be, it's definitely something I would not recommend watching in one sitting for like 3.5 hours. Um, Also, this is like very much close to the time Pearl Harbor happened, and so there's a lot of angry sentiments and not great portrayals. I'll leave it at that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you're hinting at there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Superman first serial. I watched that a while ago. I don't remember, but hey, Superman. Uh, I've not seen
Yeah.
Batman and Robin, the other one, this other serial, so I can't comment.
I haven't seen any. I haven't seen the Andy Warhol Batman either. So I don't think that would actually. Or I think that might be lost media.
Yeah, it's hard to count if it's lost media, if you know. Next we
Yeah.
have Adventures of Superman, which is Superman's foray into television with George Reeves as the character, lasting several seasons. I've watched like a handful of episodes, and I think it's fun. Um, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen this one.
Have you seen the film Hollywoodland?
No, no, I haven't. I remember seeing it when you logged it on Letterboxd.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I haven't seen it myself.
Yeah. It's a story about the mysterious death of the lead Superman. So, ooh. Next, another Superman cartoon, New Adventures of Superman. Never seen it, so I can't comment on that. Probably same with you.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't know that I've seen much of the stuff in this era.
Okay. Super Friends. I saw like the first couple seasons. It is of the time period of cheap Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Aquaman is a goofball in this. A lot of them are goofballs. It's fun, very family friendly, but not the golden standard of these characters.
Okay.
Shazam, a TV show from the 70s and 80s, not seen, so can't really talk about it. The New Adventures of Batman, another animated show. This one is like borrowing some elements from Super Friends. It's goofy. Leave it at that.
Okay.
Plastic Man. He had his own cartoon. I've never seen it, so I can't comment on it. The 80s.
I assume he would be an interesting character for animation.
Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of an obscure one. So like I didn't know about it until recently, so
Okay.
yeah. I mean, I'd be interested to watch it, of course. Next up we have Swamp Thing, the 80s B movie type thing. Have you seen any Swamp Thing stuff?
No, I haven't.
Okay. We talked briefly about Helen Slater's Supergirl. It's a weird film. There was a Superboy TV show at some point in the 80s. I have not seen it, so I don't really know. There was a Ruby Spears Superman cartoon. I haven't seen it. Then we have The Return of Swamp Thing, another film that's a lot more comedic than the first. It's certainly something. Again, like the best parts is probably just the costuming for Swamp Thing. Then Swamp Thing had like two different shows that ran at the same time, a live action one and an animated one. I've not seen either, but that's something. Then moving on, we have Steel, from the 90s, played by Shaquille O'Neal. An okay, not great film, but not terrible either. You know? I don't think Shaq is the best person to act, but, you know.
Yeah.
It's not the worst superhero film, it's very basic.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of these that we've been, and most of them I don't think I've even heard of. I have heard of Steel.
Yeah. Next up is Zeta Project, which is part of the DCAU, but it's kind of like an obscure side thing. Is the only DCAU thing I've not watched at all, so I can't comment on it.
Okay.
Ooh. You'd think I'd have, but this is not really available anywhere, so.
Okay. Yeah, I just assumed you'd have seen everything from that.
Yeah, you'd think. And I'd think too, but then like I kept finding out that there was more stuff, and I was like, whoa, that's a thing. Batman Mystery of the Batwoman, DCAU animated film. It's a Batman mystery. It's alright, yeah.
What's the mystery about?
Batwoman.
Wow.
We talked briefly about Catwoman. I don't know if you have any more to say about it.
Yeah, I can. Let me pull up my letterbox through. This is one that went into, just because it is so widely hated, I went into it being like, okay, is there anything here that people are missing or that the consensus kind of overlooked? Is this maybe overhated? Um, no, it isn't. It's not very good. It is interesting, but the editing is just so bad. The
Yeah.
visuals aren't great.
Mm,
Um, I'm not bothered by some of the like weird mythology stuff it's doing, the way that some people who care more about that are bothered by it, but yeah, it's not good.
yeah, it's doing a more obscure version of Catwoman from some obscure comic than the Selena Kyle that most people know. So it was just a
Yeah,
odd direction to take it. But yeah, I remember when this came out. It was interesting.
yeah.
Crypto the Superdog had a TV show in the early 2000s. I've
Okay.
seen like an episode while it was on TV at some point, but I don't really remember anything. So I know that we're very much familiar with the voice cast because it's the same voice studio who does the Barbie films. So there's a
Okay.
lot of
That's cool.
crossover there.
Yeah.
Constantine with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, this one I have seen recently. Again, I didn't love it, but there is some interesting things in it. Are you a fan of this one?
No, because my introduction to Constantine was the more comic accurate British one with Matt Ryan. So
Okay.
coming to this one, I
Yeah.
was like, what? Why is he American? Why is he Keanu Reeves? Why is Shia LaBeouf that character? What? Um, Putting those elements aside, it is like a very entertaining film, but it's still, you know, very much a Hollywoodized version of the character.
Yeah. I remember, I mean, Tilda Swinton is always good, and here
Sure,
she's
yeah.
playing Gabriel and is really fun. And then I think Peter Stormare is in this as well. Looks like he's playing Lucifer. And I remember their performances being very sort of over the top in a fun way that maybe the rest of the movie wasn't quite engaging me on that level.
Yeah, I think we're getting a sequel at some point.
Okay.
That's that's been the rumor mills for the past couple years. I think it's partially in development, trying to cash in on
Okay.
that Keanu craze, you know.
Yeah, that seems like an odd one too, because it wasn't a huge hit, I don't
I
think.
think it has like a
But I
cult
guess I
following
mean,
now.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see if they could make something better. It, is there must be something weird with the Constantine rights, I feel like.
Why is
Because
that?
this isn't a Warner Brothers film, is it? Or is this a Warner Brothers film?
I think it is.
Okay, well, maybe I'm mistaken then.
Or
Yeah, it just seems kind of weird that they would be making a legacy sequel to this and not, like, I don't know. Maybe it is supposed to be part of the new DC universe.
who knows?
Yeah,
I mean, James Gunn did say that
that doesn't
anything
really matter.
not DCU was going to be labeled Elseworlds, which is the right thing to do, but still.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of Elseworlds, we have V for Vendetta.
Yeah, it's been several years since I've seen this one, but I do remember really enjoying it. It's directed by, oh, I'm forgetting his name. Um, but he is a collaborator often with the Wachowskis, and they produced this. And I mean, there's rumors that they kind of ghost directed it. I don't know. I never know how much stock to put into those rumors when they come about. Um, oh yeah, James McTeague is the director here, who I think directed several episodes of Sense8 and has a cameo in the new Matrix movie. Um, but yeah, I remember really enjoying this one, and sort of it's this dystopian sort of narrative that I found very engaging.
Yeah.
I think I saw this in like high school when I was very invested in like different depictions of dystopias, and I'm still fascinated by that. So yeah, I've been meaning to rewatch this one.
Yeah. I remember. It's one that's very fun to watch whenever there's a new electional period because it's always very topical. Holds up pretty well
Yeah.
still. Um, Next up, we have Superman Brainiac Attacks, which is this weird animated film that they animated it in the same style as the DCAU, although it's not at all the DCAU. It's really weird.
Oh,
Um, Synergy with Superman Returns was the reason why this film was made. I think there's some interesting
okay.
elements, but like some of the performances are not great. It's a film. Then we have Batman Gotham Knight, which is this cool little experimental film where there's different parts. Each part is done by a different anime studio, which is pretty cool to see Batman in different animation formats. It's also made by the
Oh,
producers of Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, so there's like a little bit of synergy elements coming from those films that you might not have noticed.
okay.
So,
Yeah, that sounds like, I mean, speaking of the Wachowskis with the Animatrix, that sort of there are different interesting projects that um get inspired by that. Of course, like the Star Wars Visions more recently,
yeah.
bringing in different animation studios to take their own crack at iconic media properties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There is a little bit of like a narrative going on throughout each of the different parts that's a little more subtle. Not quite on the nose, but still, it's there. It's cool. It's
Yeah.
interesting. What's not cool and interesting is the Jonah Hex film starring Josh Brolin, and a lot of other notable names. It was just very poorly done. The story was probably good enough for like a 20-minute episode, but it's extended to like 80 minutes. And it's just very poorly edited, very hard to follow. Not great at all.
Yeah, I haven't heard good things about this one from either you or anyone else, so I haven't gotten around to watching it.
Yeah. Next up, we have Green Lantern Emerald Knights, which is this like anthology movie where it's just telling different stories about different Green Lanterns, and then there's like a little moral to each of them. So, just if you want to learn more about Green Lanterns doing stuff, then this is a film.
Okay.
Yeah. Next up is Superman Unbound, where Superman battles Brainiac, which I don't exactly recall. It does a decent job at the concept, but it's not the most memorable to me personally. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Teen Titans Go. Briefly talked about this when we talked about animated shows. This was kind of like taking the classic Teen Titans show and then making chibi versions of them and doing comedy. And the comedy is like 1 to 5% actual good, and then the rest is just cringe. Um, that, yeah, it's one that's still going. It's lasted a long time. It has its hate, and now it has like its new generations of praisers. So you know how it goes.
Yep.
Yep. Have you seen any stuff here and there with this?
I have not. No, no.
All right. Next up, we have Batman: Assault on Arkham. This weird little movie that is somewhat connected to the Arkham games, but this is actually a Suicide Squad film, which personally I think is the only proper Suicide Squad film. So
Okay.
yeah, you've
Yeah,
seen
I've actually
this.
seen this one.
Yeah.
Not recently enough to remember much about it, but I remember liking it at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a film. Its connections to Arkham is a little hazy, but still, it's
Yeah, yeah.
a decent Suicide Squad film. Next up, we have Justice League Gods and Monsters. This weird little Elseworld story where what if the heroes were actually the villains? Like Superman is
Okay.
actually. What if Zod's child went to Earth instead of Superman? What if Man
Okay.
Bat actually became Batman? You know, that type of Elseworld thing. Only lasted this
Yeah.
one film. It would be cool to explore further, but doesn't really get the chance to. So
I haven't heard of this one, but the concept sounds very interesting.
yeah, yeah, it's interesting little project there. Next up we have Batman: Return of the Caped Crusaders. This was an animated film that brought back the world of the '60s Batman cartoon with Burt Ward and Adam West returning to the role. I had a lot of fun with this one. I got to see this one in theaters uh, when it came out, and so because I grew up with the show, I was like, oh my gosh, all the like the little nods and references is like so cool, and they did a really good job at portraying the universe again. It was pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you talking about this one like when it came out.
Yeah, back in those days. Mm-hmm. Next up,
Yep.
we have Batman and Harley Quinn, which is a not great comedic film, somewhat set in the DCAU. It was Bruce Timm unhinged, which is something you never want to have happen. You know, he's coming hot right off of the Killing Joke, where he adds that one controversial scene with Batgirl. Then he makes his whole film with Harley Quinn, and you could just imagine. Ooh.
Yeah, I remember not finding it super entertaining. I haven't seen it recently enough to really comment on it though.
Yeah, me too. I've been meaning to watch it again, but I just don't want to watch disappointment. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Next up, we have Batman vs. Two-Face, which was Adam West's final performance before passing away. I think this film came out a few months after he passed, so... this one also has William Shatner in the role of Two-Face, so fun extra addition to this. I don't think is as great as the first one, but it was still more fun.
Uh, it's cool that they brought back these actors in this version of Batman.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very cool. Next up we have Scooby-Doo and Batman the Brave and the Bold. They had this crossover film with these two properties. It was fun to see more of this version of Batman. It's it's Scooby-Doo. What can you say?
Yeah, I haven't ever seen this one. I am a Scooby-Doo fan. I haven't seen as many of the crossovers, so I can't really comment on the general quality of them. But it is always kind of weird when they do. in DC properties, I think.
Yeah. Uh, Next up we have Batman Ninja, this weird sort of anime, 3D anime Batman film, which you've seen, right?
Yeah. I don't love the animation style. It's an interesting concept, but I wasn't super into the execution of it.
Yeah. It's very wild as well, thousands of monkeys and bats becoming this giant Batman kaiju. It's
Yeah.
a lot of bizarre stuff, but some pretty cool stuff mixed in if you can look past the animation.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Teen Titans Go to the movies. So here they have their big theatrical film. Pretty, pretty fun and silly, but still makes a lot of fun of like the superhero film craze at the time. You know, Lots of jabs at the DC films, like how they've been handling things, and uh, there's a Stan Lee cameo in this, which is pretty fun.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. I've heard good things about this one. It's definitely one that I mean to see at some point.
sure. Yeah, it's it's fun. Next up, we have Justice League versus the Fatal Five, another DCAU style film that's a basic, simple adventure. Doesn't quite fully work within the context of that universe, but still solid enough.
I haven't seen this one.
Uh, you also haven't seen this one, which is Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Fun little crossover event that maybe one day in the future we'll cover on a podcast. Who knows? Depending on what happens in our
Yeah, that
schedule.
might be fun.
Yeah, that might be fun.
Yeah.
And then next up, we have the Harley Quinn TV show.
Yeah, I actually really like this one. I haven't seen the more recent seasons, but I did see the first two seasons, and it's a more comedic take on these characters. Very mature in what it's doing, or like not mature. It is an adult animated show. The humor is very adult, but it's a lot of fun. Um, yeah, it's a take on these characters that I really enjoy. It is very chaotic and big and exciting, and again, so funny. You really get a sense for these characters and what makes them special, and also what makes them kind of silly and ridiculous. I think this has one of a very interesting interpretation of both Batman and the Joker. At one point, spoilers for I think season two, Joker actually stops being the Joker and becomes like a suburban dad, which is just very funny to see. Um, yeah, I enjoy this one.
Yeah, I think I mentioned on our Binging Barbie podcast in the Lego Batman movie where comedies and parody versions of this type of stuff is not my favorite thing. So adult comedies, not my favorite thing. So I don't love this show because of that. So yeah. Next up we have
I disagree, but yeah.
yeah. Next up we have Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans. This weird little crossover film that it's a fun time trying to harping in on all the people who want the Teen Titans to return, and it does that. It's not perfect, but it does that.
Okay.
Next
Yeah,
up, we have,
I have actually heard about this one, and the concept is interesting.
yeah. The animation is probably not the best executed, but it is executed in a way. Next up, we have Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons, the movie. Similar to, like, the other CW stuff, this started out as like a CW shorts thing that later got made into a film. So, with that, you have the stiff animation, generic story, where this one tries to make Deathstroke into, like, this anti-hero. Which, okay. Alright.
Okay.
It's okay. It's alright. Next up we have Batman Soul of the Dragon. This film that's kind of like an homage to like the 70s kung fu spy films. But this one stars Bruce Wayne. Not so much Batman, as the title might suggest.
I haven't seen this one.
Yeah, next up we have Aquaman, King of Atlantis, which was like a 3-episode thing, which is this very comedic sort of parody version of Aquaman. It can be fun, but it's an odd little thing that was an HBO Max special that is no longer available on HBO Max, so you'll have to find like a DVD copy of it. So
oh boy.
yeah. Have you seen or heard anything about this one?
No, I hadn't even heard of it.
Okay. Next up, we have Catwoman Hunted, this anime-styled film involving Catwoman being hunted by Black Mask because she stole a jewel. I remember it being a fun thing, but it's been a while, so I can't fully remember.
Yeah, I've seen the poster for this, but I haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Next up, we have Batman and Superman Battle of the Super Sons. So this one stars, the kids of Batman and Superman as they must learn to be friends. It's a really weird film that I'm not sure who it's for. Because it kind of seems like it should be for a younger audience. It's PG-13. So it's kind of tonally weird.
Huh. Yeah, the poster seems much darker than you would think for something with that title. Also, this is kind of a thing that I've been noticing throughout as we go through these various titles, but there's a lot of versus movies here. Which, yeah, or like superhero versus superhero, which that has never been my favorite type of story. So,
well, to be honest,
I don't know if I would watch this.
To be honest, those titles were all clickbait. Just
okay. Yeah,
those actual things only last 2 minutes in like the beginning of the film, and then the rest is just them working together or something. Depending on what version. Yeah. It's either in the beginning of the film or at the end of the film, and usually half of it involves like a misunderstanding or brainwashing. So it's never a true versus. It's just clickbait.
Yeah, looking at this, the animation style doesn't appeal as much to me.
Yeah,
the sort of CG.
It's an odd one. It's an odd one. What's even more
interesting to see them using the villain from James Gunn's The Suicide Squad.
No, James Gunn used this villain. What are you talking about? It's a classic comic book villain. Don't get it mixed up, man.
Well, yeah, that they're using the same villain.
Next up we have Meet the Batwheels. I've never seen.
I haven't either. As I was saying, they should have changed this title to Bat Wheels: The Origin of Batman's Car.
Or Bat Wheels: The Origin of Batman's Wheels.
Or that.
Uh, then
Oh
we
boy.
have League of the Super Pets, the Hollywood-made animated kids film starring Dwayne Johnson and all the others as this comedic take on the Super Pets.
Yeah, I haven't seen this one and I can't say it super appealed to me. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah.
I prefer the pets when they're not talking. I'll say it like that. When they're just actual
Yeah, they
animals.
should do a flow style version of this.
Yeah, we'll see if we'll get this League in the James Gunn films. That would be fun. Um,
Okay, yeah.
I doubt the audiences would love it, but still. Uh, Next up, we have the very last thing the CW made superhero-wise called Gotham Knights, what, where it stars a bunch of edgy teenagers, kind of. They just so happen to be the children of like Batman's rogues gallery, and like stuff. It's an odd choice. It only
Okay.
lasted one season. Nobody watched it. Nobody thought it was good. So what a thing. Another weird thing that happened was this Justice League X Ruby crossover, superheroes and huntsmen. It was two parts. What's weird is that I don't
Oh,
think Ruby is a crossover property. It's like they can appear. I don't know. It was weird. The stories don't mix, and so that kind of came across in these two parts where they had to keep trying to explain the lore and not spend time. It was just odd. It was just poor choices all the way in these two parts.
yeah.
You've not seen Ruby, so
Yeah, this one always. Yeah, no, I haven't. The style of this is very. I don't know. It seems like such a weird crossover that I am somewhat intrigued by it. But
sure.
yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's an odd one. Not entirely sure who it's for. I guess Ruby people, but it's
Yeah, I would assume like people like you are fans of both.
but it doesn't really succeed at both. So, man, also it just came out at such a weird time in the Ruby time way because like we keep waiting for more stuff and yet they keep giving us this stuff that's like unrelated. It's like, come
Okay.
on, finish your story.
Yeah.
Stop doing these weird things. Who knows if they'll ever happen?
R. Martin,
Oh, yeah.
like George R. Martin.
I mean, the difference is money and studio stuff versus old man
Yeah,
just
yeah.
tired of writing. You know,
No, he's not tired of writing. He's just tired of writing Game of Thrones,
that's what I
like the
mean.
main
Yeah,
series.
yeah. But next up, we have
He'll write anything else.
your film, The Doom That Came to
Mine,
Gotham.
yeah, this is Batman. Yeah. Um, this is based on a comic book which I didn't realize existed, but as soon as I found out it existed, I was like, oh, I need to read this. And actually, I didn't know this existed until you logged it on Letterboxd, and I was very disappointed you didn't let me know about this beforehand. Yeah, I am a fan of the H.P. Lovecraft aesthetic. This is a fusion of that with Batman. Yeah, it's just a fun little story that is bringing in these very disparate elements in a fun way. Um, the animation leaves a lot to be desired, but the concept is just so much fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not really a H.P. Lovecraft person, so it's all weird to me, but it's a cool weird in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see more properties do this kind of thing because it's always fun.
Yeah. Sure. Uh Next up, another crossover. We have Scooby Doo and Crypto 2. So, the two dogs of those universes have a little crossover together, which is pretty fun. I'll leave it there, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen this one.
Mm-hmm. Then next up, we have the Amazon Prime film, Merry Little Batman, that, follows Batman's son trying to be a Batman. It has a very bizarre art style that the animation doesn't fully work for it, in my opinion. But it's an odd little project.
Okay. Yeah. I'm watching the trailer right now, and like the backgrounds are so detailed and gorgeous. And the sort of Cartoon Network style character design doesn't quite work as well in that.
I mean, this would have been fantastic in the early 2000s, for sure. Or even early 2010s, but now it's just sort of cheap and stiff.
It is at the very least like very interesting from an artistic standpoint.
It is. It is. It's also very odd. Very odd and caricatured. Not my favorite comedy, but
Yeah.
it's a film. Which, next up we have.
I'm liking the animation here from the trailer, but yeah, I
Yeah.
mean the character design is for some of the characters is a little bit rough.
Yeah. Next up we have My Adventures with Superman, which is the more recent Superman cartoon that's visually anime-ish inspired, kind of a hybrid, which brings back a younger, more hopeful Superman. This one kind of has more in line with James Gunn um, in its approach. It's pretty cool. Its villains don't have the same visual appeal as Superman does, but it's an interesting interpretation, to say the least, in how it's done.
I've seen the first couple episodes and I really need to watch more because I do really enjoy the approach here.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty fun. I liked what they did with Supergirl in the second season. Ooh, spoilers.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, excited to get to that at some point, hopefully.
Yeah. Move on to something I've not seen, which is Suicide Squad Isekai. There was a lot of push for more Suicide Squad stuff after that first film came out. I don't know why. I'm so tired of that group. I've not seen this. I'll probably see it at some point.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can only watch one anime a year, and I don't know that this is ever going to be my choice for anime to watch in a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
The concept is what I will give DC a lot of credit for is that they're trying out interesting concepts here. And that's always kind of fun, even if not every project works.
They are at least taking risks.
Yeah.
Yeah. But moving on, we have another show I've not seen, which is Kite Man Hell Yeah, a spin-off to the Harley Quinn show. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't. He was never my favorite character on the show, so I don't know. I'd have to see some more market, maybe watch a trailer or something, or hear good reviews about it to be interested in watching it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all I can say about it.
He's not a bad character. He just wasn't. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Moving on, we have Batman Cape Crusader, which was in development for a long time. Wasn't really sure if it was going to be picked up or not, but it was finally picked up by Prime, which kind of brings Batman back to the more earlier visual roots of like the 30s and 40s aesthetic, which originally it was supposed to be more of a period piece, but then it kind of turned into like sort of a hybrid. Um, and it's interesting. It's a cool aesthetic. The animation leaves a lot to be desired, but it's cool to see this different version of Batman.
Yeah, the aesthetic of this one is really neat, but yeah, you can tell the animation just they're a little bit cheaper than you would maybe hope for. Obviously, I don't imagine that they wanted to spend too much money on this.
Yeah, I mean, by this point, you're so used to it with DC and Warner Brothers, but like, man, you just hope that they return back to the days when they
Yeah.
actually put money into stuff. This is TV 14. I wish that, again, it was more focused towards a younger demographic than just this, but it's all right. I'm interested to see what the second season is like. It has some weird pacing issues. Um,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. That's about it. Then we have James Gunn's first official project with the DCU in Creature Commandos.
Yeah, this is one I want to sooner rather than later, just because I've enjoyed a lot of James Gunn other recent work, and this just seems like such a fascinating group of characters to focus in on.
Sure. I mean, I like this group. I've seen them in like a couple different standalone short projects. I talked briefly what I feel about James Gunn's direction, which is very apparent here. It's fun. He does a solid fun thing, but there's some issues with character interpretations and overall like how the story is portrayed in its 6 parts, but it is generally fun. I don't Again, I don't love that it's TVMA for your first project in the DCU. Not a lot of people are really going to get into this. But hey, that's just me.
I mean, but I mean that I don't think this project was going to have a lot of wide appeal anyway. Or at least I don't get the sense that was.
Probably not, but still. I don't love limiting your audience to just adults, but anyway. That's just me.
I think for me, it really depends on the project. And this definitely seems like the type of thing that is a little bit more niche in appeal. So I don't mind them going in a different direction.
Sure. And then the last thing I have on the sheets here is a sequel to Batman Ninja, which is Batman Ninja versus Yakuza League. I've not seen it. It's the most recent released Batman animated thing. Yeah, I don't really know.
Yeah, I haven't seen this one, or I don't think I've even heard of this before I saw your slide for it here.
Yeah, I think Warner Brothers, gave it less of a budget, so they don't bring back the same voice cast. It's all cheaper actors that
Okay.
cheaper cost wise, not performance wise, I should say.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, haven't seen it. I will at some point. The most recent announcement that has a trailer was Batman Aztec, which,
Oh,
Batman, the world of Batman, but if he was an Aztec, which, looking at the animation, it's really rough animation wise, which I
oh,
think, except like it's done with a different studio. It's made by like a Mexican animation studio that does their cartoons.
okay.
So the animation's really off. It's really weird than what you think. But we'll see what happens when that project comes.
Yeah.
But that is everything that I have slides for. Things that I may have forgotten were like a couple animated films made to sell toy lines. There's a whole spew of like Lego films, Lego DC
Yeah.
films
And
that,
Lego games.
yeah, Lego games, yeah. Plus the Lego Batman movie I forgot to put because of reasons. But you can hear our thoughts in the Binging Barbie podcast with Lego Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this is all of DC so far. Ooh. Any standouts for you?
Yep. Oh, not really. There's some fun stuff in here, but yeah, I do think talking about all of their weird side projects, it is cool that they're doing random stuff, even if it doesn't always work out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I guess that's going to be it for today and forever. So, yeah. Thanks for joining, Jay.
Yeah,
And
happy to be here.
guess we're gonna say goodbye then. Bye. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.